có bị rớt không? Có bị rớt không? Xem nào nhỉ?
In their deepest of awareness,
the key of the stars, you are the origin of my origin, and my last hope to break through the cage of space-time here. At this moment the history of this place cannot be rewritten. I need to go back to the beginning of my consciousness and fall asleep. Before that you need to replace me in this space. Only you can break through the barriers of space-time here.
in the bedroom, a child of about 8 years of age is changing the daffodils in a vase. A young woman is lying in bed, leaning against the headboard to rest.
Mom, none of the aunts and uncles are awake yet. I tried to wake them yet nothing happened. So I sneaked into the garden and picked some flowers. Will they blame me when they find out?
After hearing the child's words, the woman's face turned sad. But still, she braced her body, face to the child, then explained slowly.
A good boy like you has nothing to do with it. Your aunts and uncles are just too tired, thus they need a good rest. You shouldn't bother them at all. Anan, thank you for taking care of mommy all the time. Once I've recovered, we'll move to the town and live there together. You can make a lot of friends and go out freely. Really? But Grandpa said I can never leave the castle. It's okay. Grandpa will definitely agree with this. Anan, can you bring a message to Grandpa for me? I'm feeling much better now. Tell Grandpa that he shouldn't worry. But don't go to the secret room. Otherwise, your father will be angry.
You promised your mother you would do as she asked. You are ready to leave now so as not to disturb her rest. This is your family photo. There are about 10 people pictured there. A little boy sitting on the knees of an old man with gray hair. Behind him stands a young couple. This is your family photo. It's the drawer your mother forbade you to open. In order not to make mother angry, you never opened it. You gently close the bedroom door. This is your family photo. We're about 10 people. An old white man is standing in the middle. A young couple holding a baby is beside him. The woman does not look well. Her face is pale. And the man behind her is wearing a black, wide-brimmed hat, so you can't see his face. You skillfully activate the hidden door switch, and the passage to the secret room appears in front of your eyes. You are standing outside the door. The dull sound of something heavy hitting the wall and the pulling of chains came from inside the room. Interspersed with them is the hoarse whisper of a man. Who can represent us? How do I erase myself?
Child, don't you recognize your father? Don't you be afraid, can't you see the hero S badge on my face? Don't you want to touch this badge?
Are you really my father?
Then, I'll get the code word right.
They gesticulate with their hands for a while.
Ampere hours. Daddy, it's really you.
Oh, take it easy on me.
You recall memories of your father's injuries and disfigurement.
Có vẻ tự nhiên rồi.
There is no sound coming from the inside of the door. Everything around seems to fall into silence for an instant. You find that the door of the secret room is unlocked, and you could push it open gently.
Is that Anna? Dad hasn't seen you in a long while. Come over a little bit more. I want to hear your voice.
A bandaged face comes close to you, and then crimson claws emerge from the darkness. Glenn. The sound of the chains behind him rings out. The sharp claws stop before your face.
My child, just leave here. I'm being replaced by...
Your insistence to stay enables you with more power than usual. Your father failed to push you out of the door.
I can't do that. You can't represent us. Who can represent us?
What shit? Xem đéo sao máu mẹ. Ay.
The story ends at the beginning. Your mission, love and hate end with your reckless behavior. Perhaps it is a better result for you. Inescapable, cycle tall at armor lost. Their key to escape the time flows again. The awaken in all things. Yerk suffereth all things, and stars burn at the same time. After all the energy turns into heat, the universe is dead.
Así. Oye, con eso es bueno.
There is no sound coming from the inside of the door. Everything around seems to fall into silence for an instant. Glenn. Your father.
Con mẹ. Con mẹ. Con mẹ. Cái đầu.
Father, I'm sorry. If I didn't fail, everything would be different.
The man wrapped in bandage turns into dust just in front of you. Every time, your father left quietly. In your heart, you kept convincing yourself. Father, he must have gone out to work. It must be the same this time. Although you have been convincing yourself, the sadness spread all over. The chest has been opened. It's empty. You recalled the warnings from grandfather at the observatory.
Did you know, Anand, that there is endless knowledge in the starry sky? In seeking the truth, we've been observing the starry sky. But behind the stars is endless darkness. When we look up, the terrible ones are watching us. The residue of that power held by any of them will cause a devastating doom to us. The chamber contains the most terrifying substance in the universe, the strange, which is extremely contagious and can transform all the substances it touches into a part of itself. Don't go near there.
You feel uneasy for no reason. As if there are many unseen dangers lurking around you. You hear strange sounds coming from all around. Taunting, laughing. The feeling disappears when you breathe out. You look out the window, the sun, the grass, the forest. That's the world you've always wanted to be in. Just when you are about to enter the room, time stagnates. You lose consciousness. You don't know how much time has passed. When you awaken, your grandfather is standing before you. As you look around, you notice that a door has appeared in the study, one you've never seen before.
Child, you are the last hope of the family. All the stars in the world align according to certain laws. But people's fates differ. We let you take on too many responsibilities, more than you should bear. Now, little one, I allow you 10 years of freedom.
Grandfather points at the stone door standing in the center of the study. This door connects two worlds. You see the meadow and forest outside. You find that the grandpa is not as strict as usual today. His speech is unusually soft. At one moment, this makes you feel quite weird, and you subconsciously asked,
Grandpa, we are not going together. Grandpa, I don't want to go. I gotta be with you. I don't wanna leave here. I don't like the world outside. I wanna stay with Daddy and Mommy. I don't want to leave you.
Child, I didn't give you with a happy childhood. It's all Grandpa's fault. Your parents, Grandpa couldn't save them. Now at the end, I can only offer you a small gesture. I'll buy you 10 years of freedom. Anand, my dearest child, I'm proud of you. Even when you are down, you can face life with optimism. But the haze still grows in your heart. I know you've been putting up with the misery. Just try, forget about it. Forget the stone walls and the structure of this house. Forget all the faces of your family. Forget about our past memories. Forget everything that happened here. But, my little one, remember. The sky is always the same. No matter where you are, the stars will light your way home.
In your eyes, that doorway transforms into a soft and comfortable bed. Now you just want to rest, a good rest. You went through the door in a daze. The meadow and skyline that were there a moment ago suddenly disappeared. A waterfall of heavy rain followed, fiercely washing away the town in front of you. Dunwick, the heavy rain roared. Along with the river, the huge castle, standing on the cliff, collapsed in a flash, and the town was razed to the ground. You felt dizzy, falling unconscious on the side of the road. Right at that moment, a scholarly-looking old man with gray hair happened to be driving a Ford in the torrential downpour. The blinding headlights shone towards your collapsed body on the side of the road. Finding your unconscious body, he rushed out of the car and carried you to safety in the gusts of wind and pouring rain. The car safely bypassed the mudslide and drove all the way to Providence. 10 years later, Providence nighttime dormitory.
Another conflict occurred near here. The security around is getting worse and worse. Just follow the doctor's advice and rest early. I hope the medicine works.
You seem to have sealed some of the memories and want to unseal them, but you cannot suppress the pain. It is like a big mess of things tumbling around in your head. You can only deal with this little by little because the recollecting is too painful, but you cannot stand the memories if you think about them too long. You have to force yourself to forget them and start the process over again. If you keep putting it there, no matter where it is like a big mess that accumulates more and more. How to solve it? By physical means. Just before you use extreme methods to solve the problem, your reason takes control of yourself. You finally managed to get to the hospital. However, the hospital did not find out the cause of the illness. They only gave you a pale psychiatric diagnosis report. Chief complaint: insomnia, palpitations, accompanied by hallucinations, history of present illness, poor appetite, memory disturbance, partial loss of emotional function. Physical exam, BP 100-251P110 NSPE. Diagnosis: it is recommended to avoid adverse event stimuli and fall asleep. Earlier prescribed small amounts of oxazolone as medication. You take the medicine bottle out of the cabinet and open it. The medication prescribed by your doctor to prevent you from being affected by psychiatric disorders which may lead to hallucinations.
I hope I have a good dream tonight.
Despite the medication, your sensitive nerves are still preventing you from sleeping. Your mind is filled with images. Late at night, you are half asleep and half awake.
You can control your body now. You know that this is just a dream. It is very real, but it is just a dream.
You woke up from the nightmare, holding onto the wall in a cold sweat. Although there was no wound, the pain in the dream also ached your body. After calming down, you adjusted your breathing and the pain subsided a little. You hesitated and decided to go back to sleep. You fall back to sleep. This time, the nightmare doesn't appear until the morning comes. There was no writing on the envelope, but the pattern stamped on the wax seal seemed inexplicably familiar. You subconsciously opened the envelope. Anna, my dearest child, today is your 18th birthday. I have prepared a birthday present for you which I have placed in my study for security reasons. I can't write in detail here, but I am sure you can find it. You are the last hope of our family, and I believe you will be able to overcome this disaster. Love forever, your grandfather, George Howard.
Why did the letter disappear?
Your mind is flooded with fragmented images. It is like a dream, but you don't seem to be awake yet. Memories come up from the depths of my memory, yet nothing can be grasped. Like smoke, you try to digest these memories. Fortunately, there is none of the usual pain in digesting memories. This time an image comes to your mind where you see the old castle at night in the sky. The star of enlightenment shines brightly, the chapel on the west side, the dome of the stargazer. Everything is so familiar. Finally, you remember the memories of your family. News says the meat products delivered to the city from Arkham have a major food safety incident. Although the related food companies have been investigated and punished, most of the food has already entered the market. The person who eats it will have crazy symptoms, and the symptoms are not obvious during the incubation period. After that, the patient will fall into mania, impulsiveness, irritability, and other emotions. As a result, there have been several violent clashes.
Amy has recommended books. I haven't finished them, or after that I'll return them to the library. Isn't this Anand? As always, those animals still don't like you. I don't know why. No matter what kind of animal they seem, full of hostility towards me. But I don't think they are hostile towards you, more like fear of you. All the animals in school are submissive and you are a really special person. Have you ever considered a part-time job at a zoo? Forget it, I don't want to be complained about by animal protection organizations.
Fortunately, you find some four-leaf clovers among the rubble on the grassland.
Behold, among sands, someone is planting. Will no one tell me what he sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow. For old, unhappy, far-off things. Familiar matter of today. Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain. That has been, and may be again. The music in my heart I bore. Long after it was heard no more.
The surrounding soil is stuck to the manhole cover tightly. You can't remove the manhole cover. Some phone numbers are written on the note. Among them, you see 635-85477 Railway Administration. A card was affixed under the note. Nothing is marked on the card, leaving only a string of strange numbers, 644-38813. There are many coins lying inside quietly. The place where the coin is placed has traces of being tampered with. You realize this machine might fail and swallow coins. The sound of successful coin insertion comes, and the telephone is ready to use. There is a sound on the phone. Best team. Unusually mechanical vocals, apparently tape recordings. After waiting for a while you learn from impatient men, a train bound for Arkham mysteriously disappears. This line has been blocked, and the reopening time is unknown. There is no response when the dial is turned. It requires a coin. Barn Street.
There should be no such street as Barn Street in the city.
Principal Stone died at 10:38 a.m. on December the 28th, 1919, due to ineffective medical treatment. Death aged 65 years old, and according to Mr. Stone's last wish, everything should be kept simple. Every day, numerous notices are posted on the notice board. Consequently, many notices are torn. You found some half-torn notices around that haven't been cleaned up yet. Wanted item and bounty. The photo of the wanted item is a yellow badge. Sign Antiquities Collector. However, the contact column was torn apart.
We'll buy a good baseball bat together, as you promised last time. As you can see, I have already paid for it. Now it's your turn to pay your part. It's with me, and you can use it anytime.
I don't have enough money. I can only give you $5 at most.
This is worth $100 at least. You have to pay half of it, $50.
This stick is clearly not worth so much.
Are you doubting me? So, all I have to do now is go back and tell my father you are going to buy that thing back.
I only have $20.
Just consider me a loss this time. We are brothers after all.
After accepting the money, the blonde-haired man leaves cheerfully. Busy Dart, busy day more. On the 18th, the opera department of school is putting on the popular opera Tosca. Bring your significant other. We have prepared the best confession moment for this. We are an informal, after-school community. The community was founded in 1889 by a group of students and professors with a shared interest in unexplained phenomena. We frequently support various organizations and enjoy a positive reputation in the public. Like-minded people are welcome to sign up. Unsolved Mystery Discovery Society will be recruiting from January the 15th, January the 20th.
I wouldn't have brought the money out if it wasn't for buying it back. Where can I raise 20 bucks? What to do now? Today is that last day my boss required me to get things back.
You walk into a pharmacy, and a young doctor is sorting out medicines. She noticed you coming and looked at you.
Your physical condition looks good. That's all that's left of the alcohol. After you buy it, tell the drunkards behind you that the alcohol is out of stock.
As you enter, you see the landlady frowning and calculating the bill. The bill is far away from you, and the handwriting is tiny. You haven't seen the details yet. The landlady takes some things out of the cabinet and puts them at the end of the pile, looking expectantly at your selection. You arrive at a car rental agency, where some well-dressed individuals are standing by the entrance. After stating your purpose, a person in charge says to you, "As you can see, sir, the storefront is still under renovation. I don't even know where I'll be able to stay tonight." Just as you were about to leave, you remember that strange recorded phone conversation. Washington Hotel. You make eye contact, confirming their secret code. The person in charge blindfolds you and leads you through a series of twists and turns, finally arriving at a room filled with an assortment of weapons. Inside you see a wide variety of beverages.
Yo, are you here to buy something or to sell something? Now that alcohol is a hot commodity, you can earn 100 bucks a gallon. This is a poster of Tosca.
You look on the bookshelf and find a book about sports fuels. You try to learn about it.
30.
Amy. Opera will be performed soon. I am very fond of opera too. But I have to leave school for a while. So, can you wait for me to come back?
That's great. It doesn't matter if you don't come back on time. There is still a chance. Anan, be careful when you go out.
Well, I'll pay attention. I'll be back as soon as I am done with the job.
This work is by the expressive, post-impressionist painter Van Gogh. Its rough brushwork emphasizes the tension, yet it is permeated by a silent melancholy. The dominant blue coloring shapes the sense of gloom, invisibly oppressing the senses. The highly exaggerated distortion and strong visual contrast allow one to appreciate the artist's restless emotions and psychedelic imagery world. Percival Lowell believed that the Schiaparelli canals were actually irrigation canals built by intelligent beings, a view that was later generally accepted as the only understandable explanation. The seasonal melting of the Martian polar ice caps, as seen, has led to speculation that an advanced Martian race built canals and transported water to the arid equatorial regions. You look on the bookshelf and find a book about survival in the wild. You try to learn about it.
The empty seats are filled with books. The chairs were also taken away, and it seems to break a leg to get a seat.
Miss Julie is a professor of history and linguistics. She likes you very much and wants you to inherit her research. She has always been very strict with you. But your recent experience has rendered you speechless. You made it to class on time. But however, no one has any memory of you being there.
Anan. Still, have time to hang out. Come back to class now.
Miss Julie, I have had to leave school for a while recently.
Young people are always wasting their own time. Just know the bullshit. Drinking, partying, gambling, travel. Just want to have fun.
Miss Julie does not really get angry. She is more of helplessness and disappointed.
I finished the assignment assigned yesterday. I promise I will try to make up for the missed lessons during this time after I come back.
Anan, you must remember. As a digger of knowledge boundaries, never slack off. You take this material. This is the summary of the course content I have prepared for you.
Ba lăm cơ. Phải.
Author, Meyer Durkheim, Social Solidarity and Social Integration. Social facts. This fact exists independently of the individual and has a unique character, which is called collective consciousness. The real function of the division of labor is to create a sense of connectedness between two or more people, i.e. collective consciousness.
eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Well, B.C. Macbeth, one of the best tragedies after all. The infinite expansion and deformed development of personal desires will inevitably lead to evil and destruction. This sentence has a deeper meaning. So you are a member of the Unsolved Mystery Discovery Society. I am glad to know you knew our society already. Indeed, exploring the unknown is our duty. I believe this text is a modified summoning spell. Your imagination is amazing. Of course, you can choose to believe it or not. After all, I was full of doubts about mysticism before. Just in time, I have a research result from our association here. It is a little divination spell, but may have some negative effects. Do you want to take an adventure?
This man wants to show you the research results of the association, which may have side effects. You are going to
close your eyes first. Damn, what's going on? I got a nosebleed. Is this the danger of the spell? I have to be fewer attempts in the future.
Qua 90 luôn. Cọc phết. Đúng rồi.
The second floor is closed recently. It is pity that there are ancient books inside. Not open due to recent book theft. A witness saw a monster wandering the second floor. That monster looks like a bat and holds many books on its chest. The monster knocks out a witness after spotting him. Before he passed out, he smelled a strong stench, like fresh maggots crawling out of the sewer. But the police took what he said as his illusion. Do you think what he saw was really an illusion?
He said he saw a monster. Do you think it was an illusion?
Có thế.
Illusion is a phenomenon in which perception results are distorted in a specific situation. If you don't have this distortion for a long time, then what he saw at that time would not be an illusion. But it is not ruled out that it will be the disguise of the prisoner.
Ah, great. I am the witness. I've felt both fear and curiosity since that day. I'm going crazy if I don't find out the truth.
You can try to help the police with their investigation as a witness. Of course, your statement needs to be modified and it is better not to be too subjective. Otherwise, no one would believe the crazy words of a frightened person.
You are right. I feel like a detective digging for the truth now.
One day you will be interested in the mysticism. The second floor seems to be under construction. Can't you go up?
As soon as you enter the room, you see Carl drinking drunk, while humming his own unique tune and writing the manuscript happily. The cluttered desks, the characteristic of academic professor.
Sir, what is this painting about?
It was sent to me by a previous patient of mine to thank me for curing his strange illness. He was young, but kept complaining that his memory was getting worse and worse. He said he kept dreaming of strange sights, but then he woke up and didn't remember anything. He only remembered a vague place that he'd like to visit in his dream. So I hypnotized him and made him search for memories in his dreams. Then I received this painting, and he must have found it. Look, he's smiling in front of that yellow house.
You can see a broken yellow badge in the mail. When you touch it you feel something strange. There is a twisted, distorted line on the back.
There is something wrong with this thing. I can't let it get to the teacher until I figure it out. Teacher, I may know something about this badge. Can I take and study it for a while?
Here, take it. I've got a mountain of clutter. Haven't got time for them either.
There are numerous, scattered pieces of consciousness that have been stored in the subconscious. See, since the evolution of humans, the subconscious group consciousness is the origin of human common habits, and yet which came first, the sea of the subconscious, or the idea of human group consciousness? What precisely is there in the most profound human dreams? Is there a God who manipulates people, or is there just a void in the depths of the subconscious ocean? The body and mind are inextricably linked. The mind is never formless, and is never independent of the body. Everyone is born with a brain capable of thinking and feeling, and because all complex emotions in humans have corresponding and exquisite biological mechanisms, changes in the body affect changes in the mind, and vice versa.
Professor Carl Urey, drinking again.
I won't be able to drink after today. I'm not an alcoholic. Did you know, Anand, that this is also a kind of personality mask?
Can't he say that I comprehend this very much?
For example, being drunk is a mask for my personality. When I'm drunk, I can roll around without any worries, letting my emotions out. I have some wine here. You want to try? You need more variety of emotions than a single one. You can try to imitate and gain more non-theoretical knowledge. This is also good for your spirit.
I got it, sir. I have also tried to read some literature.
How does that feel?
I hate it. No, specifically I hate stories because people don't tell stories just to tell them and listen to them. They put themselves in a position of authority to state what they think are their right values. Santa Claus will have a list of bad kids. It takes a hard-working bee to get the honey. A woman is made from one of Adam's ribs. These familiar stories are laced with many personal values. The more widely they are told, the more they bind people. To me, the power of the story to speak is the so-called truth, which later becomes an enforced right.
You really care about the true history.
Yes, I would like to know what the story itself is really like.
But no one can go back in time to feel the real history. We can only summarize the past from the perspective of a grand narrative. Well, I don't think you are here today to discuss academics.
Sir, I become to say goodbye. I am going back to Arkham.
Great. Even if you don't go, I will also persuade you to go out. One's past experiences will affect every aspect of that present. And I can't awaken your past memories with any hypnosis method. This should be the cause of your current problem. Of course, you'd better relax your mind. Even if there are no results. Just think of it as a relaxing vacation trip. People still need more sense of purpose to do.
Understood.
I hope that before you come back, I found a psychological explanation for your condition. Here is the car key. I won't be going out anytime soon. Well, if you are embarrassed, you can wash it for me on your way back. It's been with me for many years, and it's an old thing like me.
Thank you, Professor. Amy, do you know where is 10th Barn Street?
Ampere hours. Wait, I need to think of it. Kind of familiar. Where should I have seen it? Where did I see it? I remembered. The classic horror novel The Dunwich Horror. It was mentioned in the book. In the end, all the investigators were killed at 10th Barn Street. I have read all of the author's books too. It is pity I don't know who exactly he or she is. After all, the pseudonym is not his or her real name. When he was writing books, he left a message with reference to the real city for his creation. I have studied the addresses that appear in his book. The schools mentioned in the story are really based on our school as a reference. Which means, 10th Barn Street should be near Mariner Street. Ampere hours, Anand. I just read horror novels occasionally. I'm not the kind of hobby you think.
Amy, you have been helping me a lot. I owe you another favor.
What should I do? What should I do? I'll definitely be considered a weirdo who likes those strange things. What should I do?
I feel like a dick.
Uncle Barsa, I want to walk.
The sewers are narrow on both sides, and the sewage sinks. The light from above only illuminates a small area, and the view is poor. You'll find some materials in the trash heap. In the dim environment, you see a figure in front of you. There are some sounds of moving objects echoing in the sewer. A man with bat ears and hoof-shaped toes appears in front of you.
You are Principal Stone.
I might be Stone. My memory of which I was alive is very blurry.
Principal, how did you become like this?
I don't know. When I woke up and found myself lying in the dark underground, there are many black stone buildings and many people like me around. They invited me to the bottom of the earth with them. They said that place is our paradise. I don't know why I feel very happy. When I was about to agree, I saw the books in my hand. I still can't let those books go. I want to prepare some more books before going to paradise, because I will never see it again. These are the last ones. After that, we'll go to paradise. I'll block the hole here. So, please don't tell anyone else.
The principal asks you to keep the secret. You choose to.
Hai bảy quá, đánh rồi.
You see a monster fleeing to the cave, and the cave closes tightly. The mud inside the hole seems to be awakened, sealing the hold.
Cái cần cái gì?
I feel like a detective digging.
The second floor seems to be up.
Nó đọc rồi. Chuyện của em này.
What should I do? What should...
Traffic control.
Behold.
After hours. Many thanks. I will pay you back as soon as I have the money.
He quickly ran out of the campus gate. You came to 10th Mariner Street, just as you were about to knock on the door. A young woman came out of the door, with some books in her arm.
You are not the new editor who urges my new manuscript. I'm about to hand in my manuscript. Ha, I misunderstood. I'm a little busy. I have to go first. Ha, you seem to be a student at Brown University. Then I'll go directly to the Brown University library to communicate. I usually go there to write in the afternoon. should I do? What should...
I feel like a detective digging for the truth now.
The second floor seat.
You are late. This badge. I didn't expect the wrong address I printed out to be found. Well, although I removed the commission, the content is still valid. Can I buy it for $1,500? Trust me, this thing will only bring disaster to you.
She warned you that the badge would bring disaster. You are going to.
This information will not have any value to you.
I recently had material on researching the lost Carcosa. This rune appears in the records. I don't know why I really don't like this rune.
You can't find any evidence that Carcosa ever existed, except for this sigil. Because Carcosa no longer exists on Earth. Would you believe this bizarre and crazy claim?
I believe that legends are also deconstructed from reality.
The pattern on this badge is the seal of the king, a gift from them to their people. But for the worldly man, the source of evil and madness. That's all I can tell you. If you are not interested in money, I can exchange this pendant with you. This is definitely a fair deal. Of course, the cash transaction just now is still valid. This pendant, I hope you never trigger it.
I feel
You paid money to get this rag doll back. Since you still have money, return that $30 to me.
That's someone lent to me.
Remember, you owe me $30.
The blonde-haired man left the doll angrily.
Thank you. This doll was the last thing my mother left for me. My father thought it was too dirty to keep, so he threw it away secretly. Until I saw it in an antique store. Fortunately, the shopkeeper kept his promise and didn't sell it away. He is my big brother. We are not related by blood, but my father likes him very much. Maybe I'm too much like my mother. Sorry, I said a lot of things you don't understand. Thank you anyway. I'll scrape together the money as soon as possible.
He whispered to the doll.
I'm sorry, I could not protect you. I'm so sorry.
I envy the young generation so much. You can travel around and date.
The clock.
Hubert, I wasn't expecting you to approach me and ask me out. Are you prepared to repay what you owe? It hurts you. How can you be so strong?
I have discovered a new hobby. You will undoubtedly support me as my brother.
Sure, I will, I promise.
This is my most recent work. Because this is my first piece of artwork, $100 should be enough to sell. What are your thoughts, my big brother?
How? How can be such expensive?
Such good art. You can sell it for thousands of bucks. I'm only asking for 10%, which isn't much.
It is not much.
As expected of my good brother. My art will make you rich. To make you a wealthy man as soon as possible, I have to work hard to create. Don't worry, I'm not going to force myself. Maybe once a week. You can leave now, and remember that my hobby cannot let my father know.
Us screamed and ran away.
This is the kindness I owe you before. Don't look at me with that worried look. The doll told me that she can make my wish come true. The price is just to eat a part of me. So, that cowardly me doesn't exist anymore. I feel really alive now. Take this thing with you too, otherwise, I will remember the shame I used to be.
He was in a good mood, threw the doll to you, and left with a big laugh.
Holy shit.
Providence to Arkham, Massachusetts, is not too far. By car, more than 143 miles of road can be reached in one day, but there are many mountain roads. The mountain breeze blowing on your face makes you feel relaxed. Maybe it is a good idea to travel occasionally. There are many quaint little villages and rugged trails along the way, through field after field of corn and orchards. The leaves are changing color, decorating the trees, bright red and golden, brilliant and full of life. In the evening you followed the map marker to a mountain road. Unknowingly clouds covered the sky, raindrops hit the car windows sporadically. You are ready to speed up your trip, but until night fell the town of Dunwich remained unknown. You drive your... But until the night fell, the town of Dunwich was still missing and you were surrounded by the mountains. Just at the time that you don't know what to do, a covered bridge appears in the middle of the mountain, but the stone pillar in front of the covered bridge does not seem to allow your car to pass. A huge wooden bulletin board with "Welcome to the Dunwich" on it.
Something is coming.
A group of fat rats appeared in front of you. You are surprised. How can there be such big rats? The maintenance date was scribbled in the paint under the bridge. The last column reads 19020110.
This bridge has not been maintained for 18 years, and don't you know if it is dangerous to walk on it?
There are traces of passing, and some floors have been replaced. Also looks solid and shows no signs of wood aging. When you pass through the porch bridge, you find that there are clouds of white fog around you. No matter how hard you change your direction, you can't return back to the position you entered. You can only keep walking forward. After a long unknown time, the white fog dissipated, and the surroundings fell into darkness. When you enter the bedroom, most of which has been destroyed by the collapsed debris. Piled gravel and layers of cobwebs make the place look like a graveyard.
ถึงจะสปีดอ่ะ
Wherever you look, there is gravel and sand. You search carefully, and finally, find a photo among pieces of rubble. The photo shows a group of a family. There are 10 or so people in it. An old gray-haired man is standing in the middle. Beside him, a young couple is holding a child with long baby blue hair. The woman does not look good. Her face is pale. The man behind her is wearing a black wide-brimmed hat, so you can't see his face. You find that the child between them is a girl you've never seen before. When you try to keep this picture nice, it turns into dust. You build a simple bridge by putting up planks.
Something is coming.
The portrait is torn with a huge gaping hole on it, revealing their secret passage. But the intersection is blocked by collapsed debris. After careful investigation, you finally find a stone covered by dust on the old bookshelf. After the dust off, it emits a faint light. After careful investigation, you finally find a stone covered by dust on the old. After the dust off, it
There are 2 undamaged notebooks.
You feel something is falling from above. Luckily, it's a lightweight crystal that fell on you. XX Ronald has failed. I have no other choice but to lock him up. What exactly does ignite the symbol carved on his body by himself before falling into madness mean? This must be a significant clue. Ronald, I definitely can't let your efforts go to waste. XX This does not resemble the language of all existing and once existed civilizations. A man as calm as he was would only leave accurate words at a critical juncture. I need to read more bibliography and study the terms deeper. XX I have found a clue. The awareness. No, it is my disposition. Not sure what it many disordered, twisted symbols and notes followed it as clear that the owner of the notebook was in a bad mental state. them I should have known I am thinking about them, the have-eyed me I have to forget, all this of course, right here, right now and oh I have right it down, there is a long torn line looks like the needle was pressed on the paper, firmly, it seems that the needle was then twisted, and broken leaving only a single scratch, that looks like a word mind.
Well, what is this? Why is there a key inside my body?
The seam of history. You have come to a strange place facing left, where the cosmic stars twinkle, you have glimpsed your past, and saw that the happiness and sorrows of the past 10 years are in a bubble. And facing to the right the stars, dim, here you can see that order and chaos are constantly alternating, and the bizarre pictures have greatly refreshed your cognition. You saw a light that is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Humans cause unusually cold weather. You hear playful laughter all around as if someone is admiring a gorgeous piece of work. You saw many twisted monsters spreading across the universe. Their actions are full of twists and madness. Genes are out of control of genetics, drawing an ocean of flesh and blood. You witness the stars burning all around the whole universe. Burning, there are no more sparks in the burnt area, only darkness is eternal. On the left is the past, where the cosmic stars shine brightly. On the right is the future, where darkness is endless. At the moment you stepped into the past, the silhouette of a young woman emerged within the seams of history. She gazed at your departing figure, then gently closed her eyes, gradually dissolving into the void, forever disappearing. Place home time 10 years low.
Did I really go back to the past?
A group of black humanoid creatures suddenly appeared from downstairs. Their faces resemble the mouthpart of insects, with blue liquid flowing down their eyes. The slimy tentacles behind them, and unusually sharp claws acting as hands, indicate that they are very dangerous. There was a tapered whistle in the air. You can't tell the direction of the whistle. Just as you try to listen carefully, the sound disappears. The moment you open the door, you see grandfather in a chair. He smiles at you with relief in his eyes. The next moment, his body begins to become transparent. You can feel your heartstrings pulled, way before sadness comes in.
Grandpa.
You open the box. What you see in front of you is a girl as delicate as a ceramic doll. Your heart beats a little bit more, but not all by her appearance. You feel an extraordinarily familiar, nostalgic, affectionate impulse longing for completeness. Then the girl seems to be awakened by the noise, and slowly sits up her body. You are about to ask some questions, but she interrupts you first. You try to speak up, but you can't control your body. She looks at you and her eyes light up with the glow of a silver cross. You feel an invisible bond with her. Then you hear her soft, ethereal voice in your mind.
Silver Key, I can understand your feelings of confusion. Come closer to me and I will tell you the truth about this time.
Her eyes shine with stars, and you can't help but get closer to her.
Before you realize it, she slowly places her hand on your forehead.
You feel waves of information appearing in your head. Time, 10 years, low during the disaster study room.
The infection of the strange is different from simple assimilation into the body. Any spell or medicine that can be used has been tested. None of them can be effective on Ronald. To solve this situation is like
To leave an egg without its shell, remain intact in a waterfall. To leave a man floating in the sea, withstand the tidal wave and storm with his mortal body.
my ancestors. You warned us. The observer shall give incomparable sacrifice. This is our duty. This is the price, just that we can get the truth. Here I pray for enlightenment. Hear me, the Lord of the Gate, the Guardian of the Abyss, Lord of Dimensions, Riddle Knower, Guardian of the Sacreds, the oldest, all in one, the one by life prolonged. Amaretol, Eok Sethath, Yet Sothath Nafel Thutham. Your servant calls upon you. Still not answering my prayer. I can only deliver the last plan. No matter what, we can't let the infection spread. The transmission point connection of Seleno is set. Today the stars are in their correct locations. The success rate can be increased to 70%. Looking up at the stars for dozens of years, and finally vanishing in the stars. What an ironic end.
The moment the spell was about to start, flowing mana was drawn away. The room twists and transforms, and a rock archway appears. In and out of the archway, it's like virtual and reality are separated by it. A soft, ethereal female voice came from inside the door.
There is still a glimmer of hope. Are you willing to pay enough price?
As long as I can. Please take it.
A silvery light covered George Howard. He felt that his mind had never been so clear and thorough.
So this is the truth of history. I got it. I will follow your arrangement.
Grandpa.
A child entered the door. At that moment, his figure went still at the second the door opens. The still time flows again, the parting of the past is once again staged. You with such stubbornness do not want to leave here, but in the end, under the hypnotic spell of your grandfather, you forgot everything, you left here like an empty shell.
And now, it's time to pay my price.
Just as George Howard was about to take his toll, a voice came out of the void.
Any last wish?
If possible. I really want to see him grow up.
The voice paused for a moment as if pondering or calculating something.
Just 1 second. Is that enough?
That's enough.
The time is frozen. Your consciousness is being carried by a flood through the memories of the past. Perhaps a moment may seem like ages.
The silver key is the other me. A Fogamorn is assimilating the entire universe. Our native consciousness has been taken over by it. I have been banished to this universe. In this dimension, I had no control over my own power. In order to keep my will intact, I had to detach you to replace me. The silver key. If you open this time cage, time will be restored to its original time.
The hourglass freezes the current time. Don't be allowed the black sand to spread. Once the black sand is discarded, the assimilation will end.
The hourglass is broken, and the black sand spreads around. A huge eye emerges in the scene.
Tower, you chose to construct the puppet to anchor your tower. How ridiculous. I never expected you to be this weak.
Without thinking, a name comes directly to your mind. A Fargamon. You think about how to deal with this situation when a teasing voice came through.
Tower, I'm very disappointed. You are the beginning, and I am the end. We created time, but you hold the power of all knowledge. It changed you. Your will has chosen to leave us. Thus, have to clean up and reset the whole space-time. Now I have found a surprise too. Originally, I thought I would find you and devour you to make up for what I lacked. But I found out, human consciousness is really useful. As long as there's enough, it can make up for the parts of you. So, I no longer need you to awaken our main body now. You pitiful puppet. Tower's greatest mistake was to mold you into a human. What a weak race. After I destroy you, I'll have a good chat with Tower.
The silver key, as long as you did not lose in heart, time will recast your body. Every time you fall, your willpower can be honed. In front of you is merely one of their billions of avatars. A Fargamon never leaves the main body. Their power cannot fall onto here for real.
A Fargamon's doppelganger was repelled. The whole space trembled violently, and a very oppressive voice came from all directions. You can't hear the words, but you can feel the anger in them.
A Fargamon can't go back in time to this 100 years of history. They are reversing time in of this whole space. The silver key is as now, or never. You must hold on.
You see the water coalescing from the earth back into the sky. Once the clouds dissipated, the sky becomes clearer, the sun sets in the east, and the stars flow back like a river. The time around you is reversing back. You suddenly feel like you are on top of the ocean. A great black mist rises from the lightless sea, being wrapped by the black fog. You sink into it. You could almost see the stars among the depths of the ocean. For a moment, you have fallen into the deep sea and into the stars. If the ship of Theseus' paradise is about whether you are still you, after replacing all the things on the ship. And now it is to return all the substances in you to find out your origin. The matter of your body is as small as cells, gradually dissipating into particles, returning to their original individual. After returning all the matter, a silver key gradually appears in the deep sea. He carries your spirit, your ego, and all your memories. The silver key glitters and sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and you are back in the place you once knew best. This is the line between valid and void. Black and white are independent and maintain absolute balance. It should have been this way, but the void has eroded and the surroundings have become muddled. You see the twisted timeline veering off course and spreading towards the void, severing the void into shards with each convergence. Fragments continue to condense and clump together, forming dim spheres. You sense a strong will closing in on you. The darkness is absorbing you. The key is broken, you will be assimilation. In confusion, you hear tall Atomer's voice.
Clever key, don't fear yourself.
You sense a strong will closing in on you. The darkness is absorbing you.
Clever key, you have the power to grow, don't give up.
You sense a strong will closing in on you. The darkness is absorbing you.
Clever key, the power of the outside can never defeat the pure mind.
You sense a strong will closing in on you. The darkness is absorbing you.
Clever key, death is not the end of life.
You sense a strong will closing in on you.
Clever key, darkness and pain are both non-divisible of you.
You sense a strong will closing in. To the darkness the last silver brightens beside you and disappears. Then you have come to the sunless abyss. You keep sinking and your consciousness becomes gradually transparent. The darkness ahead has no end. But now you felt a familiar scent. It belongs to tall Atomer. But not exactly the same. Like a door, like the beginning of everything. Your consciousness gradually becomes transparent. You finally saw them. They hold you up and fill you up. Their eyes are on you and you hear their words.
Clever key, will you blame me for creating you?
It's fine. Coming into this world caused me to experience the various forms of pain. Humans are too frail to be affected by various desires, whether it is a family mission, a responsibility to others, or a concern in your heart, which formed a chain of invisible shackles. But sometimes the pain caused by these shackles makes me feel warm and happy, and I finally realized it is a phenomenon known as wish. I have so many memories, so many priceless memories that I must remember.
Will you like this world?
I like the people of this world. They will both suffer and rejoice together. Even strangers most can make me feel warm. Because these people introduced me to the world and made me realize that I existed in it.
Will you have any regrets?
I have a lot of regrets. Many regrets surfaced before I even tried to solve it. In the end, I regret not being honest with them. The truth is to tell them right now. I'm feeling guilty. Only now do I realize what I truly lost.
Will you want to change this world even if the cost will make you never exist?
I want to change the world. I want to cut off this twisted timeline. I want those scenes of tragedy will never happen again. For this, I am willing to bear the heaviest fate.
I see my awakening ritual requires sacrifice beyond the greatness. But I who have infinite and omnipotent authority, cannot sacrifice myself, so you will represent me to face death. Death means separation, all your past will be cut off. This space-time will no longer have anything to do with you. I will restart the original time and restore the twisted timeline. To recite my honorable name, I will wake up and come here.
You have succeeded in awakening Tall as the first consciousness of Yog Sothoth. They take over the body. Yog Sothoth awakes. A Fagomon as consciousness was forced into a deep sleep in order not to be affected by its remaining characteristics. Yog Sothoth buried the part of alienation under the door of poverty. The Sunless Sea regained its calm, but the assimilation of disorder still cannot be stopped. Chaos and entropy in this universe continues to grow slowly. At the beginning of time, a white mist covered the entire sea of lightlessness. Through a mist, you saw the black distortion of the timeline back to the correct history. January the 15th, 1910, Arkham, an old castle, was built on a mountain range. A group of people in the castle were hosting a birthday dinner. They were celebrating the birthday of a family member who had just turned 8 years old. The crowd stood together, ready for the family photo. A grown man, smiling brightly, while a beautiful, elegant woman was holding his arm, looking good. In the middle of the room is a dignified old man, whose face was taken by loving kindness. Today, for he was holding the main character of the party, a mischievous little girl with long light blue hair. The grey beard of the old man was tugged by the little girl in his arms. The woman panicked, ready to stop the girl's nonsense. The little girl looked at the cheerful man with an innocent look, who made a face back at her. This whole scene was successfully captured at that moment. Amy was busy organizing books in the library as usual. Time passed and she remained shy and timid. A poster slipped off the table while she was tidying up her books. She picked it up, only to find it was Tosca, a poster placed by Opera Today VC, d'arte VCD Amore, e Lucivan Lestel. Amy looked at the poster and felt as if her heart was stirring. She wanted to say some words, but in the end, the voice in her head always disappeared. The feeling of disappointment overwhelmed her.
Why am I crying?
At night in the school office, Carl and Professor Julie are working at their desks. After finishing a pile of papers, Julie sighs deeply and complains to Carl.
Students are getting worse and worse these days, as they don't dare to take any challenges. With such a trend, it would take less than a century to witness human beings degenerating into monkeys.
Carl didn't make any comments regarding Julie's complaints. On the contrary, he said optimistically,
This generation of young people is way better than us because they work harder to follow their hearts. Those who don't pay a visit to their hearts are always living in a dream. Not only do they understand the source of their consciousness, but they maintain such unique personalities.
I guess old habits always die hard. For you begin acting strange all day. Aren't you anxious to find a protege who will continue your studies? Consequences will happen if that person was found out to be an irresponsible one. Have you found that one?
Carl poured out a bottle of whiskey and took a sip, which gave him a saddened look.
I guess that not every moment in this life is enjoyable.
The blank pages are constantly being written and erased. A young girl with long light blue hair was leaning on the long table in the middle of the palace, quietly looking at the boy reading the book opposite. After a long time, the boy turned the book to the end. At this moment, the girl spoke to the boy.
This is the result of real history. They will no longer have any contact with you. And you no longer belong to any era. Star Key, do you regret it?
Hearing the girl's question, the man reluctantly stroked the pages of a book. Finally, he rose his head and spoke to the girl.
No, Sothath. This is the best result.
He finally slowly buttoned the book. You chose to assume your destiny, make the best sacrifice. But this is just the beginning. The distorted timeline still exists. Those terrible beings sleeping from the ages are waking up. Terrible disasters are brewing in every space and time. You resolutely choose to meet your destiny, to restore the power of your Sothath, to stop the suffering from happening, the traveler of no age on a journey that will never end.
Ôi lý cả anh biết protect đôi con thích ngủ đi. Không biết lý rồi.
Go and tell Sothath about the situation of that sunless sea. Sothath's spreading of the chaotic timeline in that sunless sea has been controlled. But is it really okay for you?
It doesn't matter as long as it doesn't consume too much power of space and time. I can still maintain the current critical point. But to completely erase all the abnormalities, I can't do that yet.
Is there anything I can help you?
You see Sothath with some hesitation after your words.
The new space is still very fragile, and in order for the library to work, Star Key, I need you to travel to all the abnormal space and time, to influence the history, to resolve anomalies, and then bring that little bit of change back here, and that would become the power to fill the space and time.
I understand.
However, Star Key, to the chaotic time of history, you need to establish a connection with the people in that space and time to get involved. You will obtain the same identity and experience as them, and their suffering and pain will be imprinted in your heart. My power will protect you from actual death, but you will still face the pain of death.
Don't you worry, Sothath. I will go to all these places in history as soon as I could in order to help you recover your power.
Ôi đau lưng vãi lồi. Đây là mình.